This morning, we are honored to have Senator Les Ihara Jr. offer a moment of contemplation.
Senators, staff, and guests, may we contemplate today's chaotic and dizzying world, its rapid-fire spectacles that overload our system, and choosing to double down and go or pause and get reoriented. There's reason to pause. Our political ancestors of the 1840s were part of a caring and belonging stewardship governance system, a lineage that we've inherited. The Hawaiian Kingdom's democracy was organized around caring, belonging, and stewardship, and guided by indigenous, relational, and civic values different from the American dispute management system. This stewardship governance lasted 53 years until the hostile and illegal overthrow of 1893. The forced takeover fragmented civil society, opened questions of legitimacy, and imported an operating system that favored productive transactions over caring relationships. This new operating system of economic growth sidelined care and belonging, became separated from the aloha spirit, and forgot the stewardship days of the kingdom. Generations later, the Hawaiian Renaissance ignited remembrance of the island's lineage and expression at the 1978 Constitutional Convention. The Con reconnected modern governance with the lineage of the Hawaiian Kingdom and inscribed its values into today's Constitution. Grounded in our island's political lineage and Constitution, may we use our legislative powers to express our care and stewardship of our islands, community, people, and future generations. Aloha. Aloha, senators and guests. Please join me in this moment of contemplation. Imagine all the people going about their ordinary lives in Hawaii, including those who feel left out, dismissed, shunned, and even attacked. Breathe in the experience of their hurt, fear, conflict, and even hatred that's present in our community. And then breathe out our aspiration of love, compassion, harmony, and wholeness. And then repeat. In this building, we legislators can collectively breathe in the experience of our community and breathe out the aspirations that we all have and hold inside us. That we love one another, care for the whole, and live aloha as much as we can. I say that we, the Senate, are a mature and wise legislative body that's working out the manifestation part. We're able to hold in our experience our community's polarities and tensions and conflicts in eternal battle, parts and particles pinging each other and fighting and transacting for survival. But if we allow ourselves to experience both sides of a tension of polar opposites and look long across time, we see cycles and waves, not just particles and parts. Waves move forward by the energy of the polarities, and by experiencing the negative troughs, we can raise the crests so that the trajectory goes upward and outward. May we ride the waves of political life in this Capitol building and use the downflows to leverage our upper movements, our evolution to a collective whole. I wish upon the senators in this chamber the spirit to evolve beyond the positive and the negatives of the moment with a new balance point or tipping point for our community, emerging on sine die, as I say it, with new stories told over and over again until the next time to rebalance, until the next set of waves. Aloha and have a wonderful day. Thank you. Aloha, senators and guests. Please join me in a moment of contemplation as we safely start today's session. Please join me in invoking a sense of the sacred into this room, unaided by the grandeur of next door, our Senate chamber and its core walls. Help me bring the sense of justice into this room. Invoke the cause of freedom and democracy within these walls. Our brain holds the memory and words for the values we cherish, but our heart experiences values. Feel love and respect and breathe it into this room. Civic values are so important, they're sacred in public life. They're spiritual in both religious and secular contexts. Values are who we are, the being part of human being. Equality and individual human dignity are honored values in Hawaii. So is kindness, humility, and aloha spirit. May we, senators and other civic leaders, practice the invocation of civic values in each of the public spaces we visit today. Thank you. President, senators, and guests, may we contemplate together. Under a central federal government, our state of Hawaii is one of 50 partially self-governing states in union as the United States, which is the oldest federation in the world. In the U.S. Federation, its 7,383 state legislators have exclusive power to create things for public good, all within the broad confines of the Constitution with no justification required. We simply deem our creations necessary for the betterment of our community. During the term of our constitutional office, we are trustees for the moment of the resources and powers inherited from previous generations. It is our duty to govern our state based on the values of who we are as a people. The Aloha Spirit and HRS 5-7.5 and the deep respect for each person of these islands. Unlike the federal government that survives in a world of war and peace, state legislators are not required to use political dark arts. The role of state legislators in civil society is to balance the partial interests of all for the good of the whole. We're in brackish water, a mix of representative democracy and a citizen-centered democracy, a transitory period of democracy where boundaries and values mix and converge amid confusion and ambiguity. We're in a sacred moment in history, recalibrating and recentering our whole selves. May we, senators, answer the call to our humanity and use the wisdom we now possess to speak and act for future generations. May we each feel our own civic soul and be guided by the interests of the whole. Aloha, my friends. Aloha. Aloha, senators and the people. Shall we contemplate together? Our constituents and everyone in this year's Hawaii census have aspirations, wishes, and hopes for their family and their community, our community. Our people also wish we legislators share their aspirations, and we do. The Joint House-Senate Executive Legislative Package reminds us that we do share the aspirations of the people. Today's Senate Anti-Harassment Workshop, which I attended, is also a reminder that this state capitol, our workplace, is a bully-free zone. Through rules and policy, we ensure safe spaces for people to share their views, policy and political views, on pending legislation. I've learned in the current Hawaiian Homes Commission advice and consent process how sometimes my and perhaps other criticisms, my criticism is felt by the other person as a diminishment. That's when I realized the immense power that we senators, legislators have. With constitutionally endowed powers, we build this strong arm of government. The executive uses that arm for civic aims, at least on the state level in Hawaii. The contemplation theme of the day is to be mindful of how we use the powers we possess as lawmakers, appropriators, and deemers of the public good, which is why we are elected. In debates, it often feels like the side with the power always wins, because the power always does win. May we contemplate passionate uses of power and less harmful language wherever we can. May we be mindful of the Aloha Spirit Law, Hawaii Revised Statute 5.7.5, especially paragraph B, that says, as applicable to the legislature, in exercising its power on behalf of the people and in fulfillment of its responsibilities, obligations, and service to the people, the legislature may contemplate and reside in the life force and give consideration to the Aloha Spirit Law. Aloha and have a nice day. Mr. President, senators, staff, and guests, good morning. I offer for contemplation today a word. The word is mutuality. Mutuality. M-U-T-U-A-L-I-T-A. Mutuality. In a sentence, one of today's fundamental megatrends throughout society is mutuality. Mutual respect, mutual understanding for our colleagues, mutual understanding with our House counterparts, and mutual affinity where possible. Common purpose and mutual intentions help and lead to mutual satisfaction, I would contend, to legislative outcomes. And on community issues, mutuality can lead to public trust and creativity. For example, what if a community group wanting affordable housing for friends and neighbors joined a civic collaborative with a trusted, I think you can find them, a trusted values-based developer, and the community support could fast-track and enable exemptions for the project that the community wanted, in the area they wanted, in the way they wanted, in the size they wanted it. and they do want affordable housing. Or for state and county boards, what if there was a sufficient degree of public trust to allow boards to have closed to the public executive sessions for extracurricular activities, such as visioning retreats, site visits, and personnel issues? A possible solution could be for a representative of the public to sit in on executive sessions and report any instances of strain from approved agenda, and these boards could meet in private for their own purposes, for the civic good of the community. Good day. Thank you. Aloha, senators and guests. Please join me for a moment of contemplation. I had a dream the other night. I dreamt about the 7,383 state legislators who live in communities all across the United States of America. Go figure, I don't know. But from above, I could see white lights in North America, each light from a single legislator, seeing all the neighborhoods and communities where legislators live. It felt like a high-definition HD vision. I could zoom in and out without those finger pinches and to see the legislators I wanted to be with. Felt like I was with all of the 7,383 state legislators all at once. Weird, but it was like an AI HD dream state. From on high, one of the lights turned into a prism, showing colors. Then another legislator colorized their laser light, then another. Different than off-on black-white options. These PRISM legislators are members of a network of collaborative state legislators. They somehow stood up for collaboration without any prodding. Another legislator steps forward, and others slowly, one by one. Step up for what? Collaboration for what? The legislators say they're redefining who they are and what it means to be a state legislator. They want public policies decided as a civic matter with less reliance on exotic political solutions. They want to build a social infrastructure and civic strength for community problem solving. Then I woke up. Dang, I wanted to see what these PRISM legislators would do next, because the real-life collaborative legislators network does feel like a dream, he said in closing the day's moment of contemplation. May you all have colorful dreams. Aloha. Senators, staff, and guests, I just returned from 9 days and nights of contemplation, forced to lay on my back and be still to recover from a back injury. So you are especially welcome to this moment of contemplation. First, I caught my dog from falling by lifting her at the worst possible angle. That caused me serious back strain and 4 types of prescription painkillers. I decided not to take the opioid, and I took high doses of aspirin and muscle relaxers instead, not knowing that I should take them together. I decided to endure the pain that a bathroom break could trigger. So I remained lying on my back, staying as still as possible for 2 weekends and 5 working days. I miss you folks too. I had been practicing still point meditation, being still, silent, and nothingness, and that helped to pass the time. Stillness and my longevity may have enabled pattern recognition, like seeing the unique set of stars in the night sky that are only constellations of stars that move together precisely. My memory knowledge base of 40 legislative sessions and a constitutional convention recognizes patterns across time and multiple circumstances, session after session. Lying in bed may have brought on a late life crisis for me that I call a review and reset for late life transition, and had continuous flashbacks of past legislative sessions, many in this chamber. I had already started to hold warmly the humanity of my ancestors and the ancestors of our chain of islands, its values, indigenous practices, and ways of being. But the past and memories of past years now feel layered as remembrances. Somehow, the memory layers now have vertical integration at my age and broadened pattern recognition. It's like the spiritual lives of our political ancestors alive in this chamber. We'll see if my back recovery meditation leads to sustained pattern reading. If so, you may see me finding ways to use these patterns to help the legislature and our leadership with words such as repeating patterns of loops and locks, hinges, paradoxes, vortexes, and evolutionary arcs. Aloha and have a nice day.